You know, it's gotten past the point where you can excuse Bethesda for a couple bugs at this point. Now, I don't know about all of you fine lads and lasses, but Fallout 76 got a fucking beta. And that beta turned out to be pretty interesting. Now, it's got a bit of an extension going on. People are still playing the beta here and there at the scheduled times. I don't know if this is like a Nintendo Switch type deal. I mean, come on now. I expected a beta to at least be all day. But betas have been released for Fallout 76, and currently it's going through a myriad of issues. Issues that I honestly expected, but I'm still surprised to see that exist. Now, before we go into it, I feel like I kind of have to give my stance on Fallout to begin with, so I'll make it short and brief. I started playing Fallout around Fallout 3, and then because of how impressive that game was, I decided, having a shitty computer at the time, I could run Fallout 2. And I could. And I played it. It was a great game. I was actually surprised by how much depth that game offered. Fallout New Vegas comes out. I was even more surprised that it took the elements from that game and Fallout 3 and made something truly great. A game where I also didn't have to rely on VATS because of shitty aiming and all that good stuff. Then Fallout 4 gets announced, and I'm pretty excited about Fallout 4. I like the Fallout franchise. I would consider myself a fan. And while I can't say Fallout 4 was a bad game, because it certainly wasn't, I think anybody that says Fallout 4 was absolute shit, no, it had its good points. However, when you compare it to how much effort Bethesda pulled off with Fallout 3 and Obsidian and Bethesda pulled off with New Vegas, Fallout 4 was a little bit of a step back. You know, it felt like a game that sort of lost some of its RPG mechanics, became a tad bit more casualized and focused a lot more on settlement and building and crafting, which again was done relatively well. It's a step back from the overall Fallout experience that I think Bethesda really impressed its audience with. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Fallout 76 inherently will throw me away. I hope this game ends up trying to be good, but I have my doubts, and unfortunately the beta that just occurred confirmed some of my fucking doubts. Now, Fallout 4, decent, alright game, kind of a little step back. Fallout 3 was a great game. It came around the time where GTA 4 was a thing. And even though it wasn't a pretty game at that time, it certainly blew me away by how much Bethesda focused on giving characters like their own timelines or schedules. It was like a real life world that you were partaking in that had its own things to it. It had its own, the NPCs, the AI all acted on their own. They did what they did, and they were almost omnipresent. They were doing their own thing, and you were a part of the world rather than being the center focus of the world. When you look at something like Fallout 76, which for those of you who haven't been following, is a multiplayer-only Fallout game that's more in the vein of something like, I want to say, Borderlands, a sort of co-op survival type game, something like Rust almost. It's a game with heavy focus on surviving, crafting, and constructing bases, camps, whatever you want to call it. And the world, while it is in the Fallout lore, the world is still barren. As far as we've seen, there is not much of NPC interactability, in fact, anything at all, really. The game is a barren version of a Fallout map. In fact, the only other living souls, I believe, are other players, which, because of low player counts and a big map, are pretty difficult to spot. I played the beta for like 4 hours on Xbox One, and I've been pretty underwhelmed with what they have offered. Now, the beta itself has come through some pretty crippling issues, and these are issues that I don't think Bethesda can be excused by anymore. For those of you who've been following on the PC, apparently Bethesda has let legacy issues bypass quality control. What I mean by legacy issues is issues that are well known by the community, issues that Bethesda has acknowledged and know of well into their development of this game. One such issue was decoded by people, notified as the speed hack glitch. Basically for this is the in-game physics are tied to your frame rate, which is an absolute moronic thing, I guess, to do, but it's sort of a legacy issue of the Gamebryo engine. The engine that Bethesda has used for Fallout 3, New Vegas, Oblivion, Skyrim, and pretty much all of their games for close to a decade at this point. This bug basically entails that physics are tied to your frame rate, meaning that if somebody's playing at 60 frames per second and somebody can run the game at like 120 frames per second or 200 frames per second, they will have a faster game, which gives them an advantageous position. And it's no fault of the player if you just have better hardware and know how to unlock your frame rate by switching off a command in the INI file, which most PC gamers do know. It's a big issue, and the fact that Bethesda let it cross by is just a staggering show of either a lack of care or Honestly, yeah, a lack of care. That's what it comes down to. They've let a bug bypass which allows your game to be deleted, forcing you to re-download 50 gigs of a game again. These are bugs that shouldn't be happening. I don't care if you guys say it's a beta, because at this point, when a game is like, what, 3 weeks out, less than 3 weeks out, it's not a beta anymore. You're playing basically a chunk of what is going to be that final product. It's just a way for them to build hype. It's like a demo at this point. We've seen it happen time and time again. What does a beta really solve? I guarantee you when Red Dead Redemption 2's online beta hits, it's going to be a rocky ride. So is the actual online release. The beta is never really going to help. It's just a way to test things here and there and really build up hype. And that's exactly what they have attempted to do with Fallout 76. It's really not working, especially when such core issues are present. I'm not saying rewrite an engine. I'm actually acknowledging that the engine can be upgraded. We've seen it with many other franchises. You know, Rockstar uses the same engine for GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption 2. Difference is they keep updating it. They optimize that engine over and over and over again so that they reduce bugs, increase the overall tool set that they're working with, and even if new bugs arise, they will spend time to fix them. Bethesda has refused to give any fucks about building these games past. They've decided not to work on optimizing their engines and making them fit for the projects they want ahead of time. It's why we've seen these legacy issues even in Fallout 4. You know, playing a Bethesda game is a rocky ride. If you're on the PlayStation systems, last generation, it was a bumpy ride. Even Xbox wasn't fluent. In fact, even the PC version, which is still broken unpatched in certain points, still works better. In fact, the most recommended mod is the unofficial patches, which the community creates to fix up Bethesda's games. I don't know if Bethesda thinks that the community is just going to fix up Fallout 76 when it releases, but when a game comes out for $60 fucking dollars, I expect that shit to work day one out of the fucking gate. Okay, not day one. I'm not going to be a prissy bitch about it. Yeah, is there going to be a rocky launch? Sure. But if your community's paying $60 when most of the people I ask are going to get this game, I don't expect day one player populations to be staggeringly high at this point, considering the beta that we've received and the press that they've gotten. At least at this point, deliver a product that is worth $60. Because I'd like to buy this game. I would actually enjoy a multiplayer Fallout game had it been delivered in a more successful format, had it not been $60. This game would probably be better at half of its retail price. More people might be incentivized to paying for a game like this. Because beyond that, there's microtransactions in this game that is rivaling free-to-play territory in terms of cosmetics. I think this game, especially considering the lack of content given a Fallout game, is just somewhat insulting, at least to me. But there's a lot of people out there that'll say that this is going to kill the Fallout franchise. And before I end the video, it's not going to kill the Fallout franchise. This game will still do okay. But the real gamers for the Fallout franchise, I think the people that are there, when I say real gamers, I mean people who are in the franchise for the single player side rather than just spin-offs and online capabilities. The real Fallout fans who care for that single player versus, you know, the Fallout. There's no good way to say that, honestly. I mean, when I say fans, I mean people who have been with the Fallout franchise because of its single player usage. We'll just wait till Fallout 5. This won't kill the franchise. Like I said, I hope Fallout 76 ends up being great and this beta was just a rough patch, because this game looks like it can be fun with your friends. But Bethesda, you gotta start giving a fuck about how you create your games and how much of a fuck you end up giving, because at this point it just looks pretty damn insulting. But that being said, I'm gonna back out of this video, ask you what you think about Fallout 76, and if you all are willing to get it. Hey, if a lot of people here want to get it, I might join in and when it's on sale or something, and we'll stream it. We'll see. But that being said, this has been me, Mutahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like if you dislike it, I am out.